Have you ever imagined that how fantastic it would be walking on the streets of cities like Paris or London at night? I bet you did. Today we're gonna create that beautiful street lights of London or Paris style together in Blender. Actually, it's not exactly the same shape, but since I'm interested in them, this would be the start of for next upcoming street light tutorial videos. Also, by watching this video, you'll be able to create any other versions you want. So let's open up Blender and get started. So first of all, the usual stuff, press A to select everything and X to delete all of the default stuff. And I'm gonna need a cylinder, sorry about that, and open up this panel here. And the vertices by default is 32. We're gonna decrease that to 8 vertices because later we're going to add the solidify modifier, subdivision modifier, and that's okay. So press G, then Z and 1 to bring it to the floor of our world. Then press 1 to go to the front orthographic view, and S, then Shift Z to scale it on just X and Y axis, and scale it down about there. So press Ctrl A, then scale to apply the scale, and in that case if you press N and come to item, you see that the scale amounts all the more 1, and that's cool. So press N again to close up this panel and tab to go to edit mode. We're gonna select these vertices, all of them, and bring them down to about there. I'm gonna start with the base of the shape to the top of it, from the ground up to the sky. So first of all, let's bring it a little bit down. All of the modeling process is going to be extruding, scaling, and not any other things. Because of that, it's so simple, and after watching this tutorial you'll be able to create any other versions of your own imagined models of the streetlights. So I think that would be okay, and I'm gonna create this by a reference image from the pinterest.com. You can find any other reference images and go on with them. So let's scale it down. First of all, press I to insert the face, and I think that would be enough. Then G, the Z to bring it a little bit higher and scale it up just a bit. I think that would be okay, and we're gonna insert it again just a little bit and press E to extrude, and extrude it about that point. And then press I again, insert it, and grab it, push it a little bit upwards, the same thing we did here. And I think we can do it another time. Insert it a little bit and grab it and move it just a little bit upwards, just like that. And we can just scale it a little bit down more. I think that's good. So we can extrude it again and bring it just about there, and another time we can insert it, then extrude it about that point. Maybe it would be enough, but we can change it anytime. If you see that it's not proper for you, you can just change it to any changes you want. So I'm gonna press E to extrude but not doing anything, then press S to scale it, and you see that it's scaling on that its own base, not going further or down or up. And I'm gonna extrude it again this time and bring it about there. This time scale this just a bit and extrude it again. And as I said, it's just the playing with extruding, scaling, just these things, not a crazy stuff going on here. So press 1 to see it properly, the shape, and bring it a little bit higher, extrude it just a bit and scale it down to about there, and scale it one more time just like that, and come to edge selection mode. Hold Alt and select these edges, but actually you should go to face selection mode and hold Alt, select these edges and faces around this loop, Then hold Alt E, then extrude faces along normals. In that case, we can extrude them along their normals, and we can just extrude them about that point. I think that's good. So select this face on the top and extrude that all the way down, up to maybe here, but actually it could go further to about there and scale it down just like that. You see, it's going to be created the main shape, and this time I'm gonna extrude that to about there and scale it higher, and extrude this again and scale it down and inset the face to about that point. That's okay, I think, and press 1 again. So I'm gonna extrude that about there and scale it up just like that. But actually we can go to edge selection mode by selecting this icon here and hold Alt, select these to this loop here and scale it a little bit to fix the shape, and select this loop here by holding Alt, then E to extrude about there and come to face selection mode. Again, hold Alt and select these loop here. Again, press Alt E and extrude faces along their normals to that point, and select this top face here and extrude that just a little bit, and do the same process here again. Press E, S to scale it a little bit more than this one. This is up to here, but I'm gonna expand this a little bit up to that point, and now extrude that, and I think that's done. That's the base shape of our straight light, and I'm gonna create the light of it. So Shift A and come to mesh, then again add another cylinder with 8 vertices and press GZ and push it upwards about that point. That's okay. So scale it down and bring it to the base of it, and I think that's good. So press Ctrl A, then apply the scale and come to edit mode and hold Alt, select this. First of all, come to edge selection mode, hold Alt, select this loop. Let's scale it down all the way up to that point and bring it a little bit down, maybe there or just like that. And I'm not going to use this face, so I think that will be okay to press X then faces to get rid of that face, because it won't be seen and we don't need it. So press Ctrl R and add a loop cut in that point and press 1 to see it properly, and try to scale it a little bit higher to make that shape here, and hold Alt, select this loop on the top and bring it lower and scale it down just a bit. So this would be the shape of the light itself, and I'm gonna create the top part of it and also the holders on the corners of that and sides of the straight light. So first of all, let's come to edit mode, select this face, and when you're selected that, I'm gonna duplicate it with Shift D and right click to cancel the movement, and select P, then selection, and come to object mode, and you see that we have another object here. It's completely different object. So I'm gonna right click, then set origin to geometry to fix this origin, and press tab to go to edit mode, press A to select everything, and this time I'm gonna scale it just a little bit to about there and press E, then extrude that up to that point. I think that's good. Let's leave it in that point because we're gonna change it later. And now let's add a plane here and bring it higher to about there. Press 1 to see it properly, bring it here, and press 3 to go to side orthographic view, and press G and Y, bring it to the front of the straight line and scale it down all the way up to that point. Let's see it from the front. that is going to be okay, and bring it higher. So hold Alt A, actually Control A, and apply the scale. So press Tab to go to edit mode, press 3 to go to the side-door graphic view, and select the edge selection mode, and also enable the Alt C or X-ray selection mode. You can toggle it from here just to enable and disable it, or you can just hold Alt Z, it's the hotkey for that. So I'm gonna select these two edges vertices here and push it just about there, and I'm gonna create a shape like this to come up to here, actually here maybe, and this would hold the this is the pipes or any other things that you call it, I don't know its name. And let's bring it about there, and after that I'm gonna extrude that again next time, and it would come to about this point, and I think that's okay. And maybe we can just add another vertices here, bring them here, extrude them just a little bit to go to a little bit down of the or lower of this base here, because when we add a subdivision modifier it would a little bit shrink the shape because of that, to avoid the problems here and there. So press 1 to go to front of the graphic view, and tab again to go to the edit mode, and enable the proportional editing, and come to the X-ray selection mode and select these two end and last vertices here. And now it's time to scale them on the x-axis, just like that. And you can control the size of proportional editing by scrolling your middle mouse button up and down. Let's create a shape like that, and make sure to just scale it on the x-axis, not all of the axis, because it would ruin the shape. I'm not going to do that. Let's just press S and X to snap it to x-axis. I think that's okay. And also we can just select these ones, and let's turn off the proportional editing and bring them a little bit just near to the shape. And also let's do the same thing for these ones. That's okay. So let's give it a little bit thickness. We can just select everything with A and Alt E, extrude the faces along normals. That's one of the ways you can do that. Or you can just come to the modifiers tab and add a solidify modifier and then apply it. I go with the extruding faces. You can just go with the add in the modifier, anything you like. There is no obligatory in modeling and art. So let's select these two edges here, push it a little bit outside in the y-axis to make it a little bit squarey, and press 3 to go to face selection mode and select this face. Then I'm gonna extrude that just a little bit, extrude that and scale that in all of the axes, then extrude that again, this time a little bit more like that, and you can hold Ctrl and plus to expand the selection, and I'm gonna scale it a little bit more just like that. I think that's going to be okay and make sense. So press E again to extrude that about that point and select this face, then extrude that, then scale this down and also scale this on the x-axis. Then another time we can extrude that again, scale this down and also scale this on the x-axis, and press 3 to see it properly from the side of the graphic view. We can just press R to rotate that and create a shape like this. Come to Edge Selection Tool mode and hold Alt and select this loop. So bring it a little bit higher and rotate that with R, and I think that's okay. So press Tab again to go to object mode, and the shape is ready. The shape is ready. We have to duplicate that 4 times, but let's leave it to the end of the tutorial, because when we add modifiers we will have to apply it for all of the shapes, but I don't want to do that. Let's just do everything for this, and then we can rotate that at the end. So select this And first of all, select this and come to the X-ray selection mode with Alt Z and select these, all of these faces here, and bring them higher to about that point. That will be okay, and we can scale them up a little bit. I think they were so little. And also press 2, select this loop here and scale this up just a little bit. And there we go. So come to the solid view with holding Alt C and select this, and press 1 again to see it properly and bring it a little bit down about there. And also we can go just a little bit more. And now it's time to go to edit mode and press A, then S, and hold Shift C to just scale it on the X and Y axis and scale it to about it. Go a little bit inside of this model, and we can scale this on the Z just a little bit to make it a little bit thinner. And that's good. So press 3 to go to face selection mode, select this face, press 1 to see it properly from the front orthographic view, press E and scale this down, and that's okay. So inset the face and scale that, and this time we can inset it a little bit more to about that point and scale this higher, and then we can just press E and then S to scale it down a little bit and bring it higher to select this shape, and now scale this and scale, and now extrude that and scale this a little bit up about there and extrude that again. Do the same thing, this time a little bit more, just a little bit, not so much, and extrude that again. And for the last time, let's go to the vertex selection mode, press M, then at center, and it would make the, and it would merge all of the vertices at just one point at the center of them. So select these ones by holding Alt and Shift. I'm gonna scale them on the X and Y axis, so when you press S, make sure to press Shift Z to just scale this on the X and Y axis. But you see that the others one will be remaining, and it would be a little bit awkward. So let's let's expand the selection, hold Control plus, and this time I'm gonna this time I'm gonna scale them, all of them, just like that, and also press S, then Shift C to make them a little bit thinner, just like that. And I think that's going to be okay. So we can select just this loop and bring it higher, and this one higher a little bit, and we can do the same thing for all of them, just like that. And if you feel that it's a little bit too long, you can just make it shorter, and I think that is great. Actually, yeah, that's great. And let's go to the refining the model and add in the modifiers. So select the light itself and come to the modifiers tab and add a subdivision modifier, and we're gonna expand the levels to 2. I think 2 will work for us better than 1. And right click, then shade smooth, and come to edit mode, and in this point we're gonna add support and loop cuts to maintain the shape of the model. So press Ctrl R and add a loop cut here, and I think that's okay. And maybe we can just add another loop cut here to maintain the shape, and that is going to be okay. I'm satisfied with the shape. Or we can just select all of them and bring them down a little bit, and select this and bring it lower about that point. And also we can just select these ones and bring them a little bit lower as well. Maybe that would be a little bit better. I think the shape now is going to work well. So select this one again and add a subdivision modifier, increase the level to 2, and you see that the shape is a little bit ruined, but don't panic, we're gonna fix that problem because it needs the support and loop cuts here and there to make it a little bit better. So I'm gonna add some loop cuts. First of all, let's hold Control R and add a loop cut here, then right click to cancel the movement, then Control B to bevel them, and 2 segments is good. You see it's going to make sense now. So hold Control R and add another one here, and we have to do the same process for all of these bumps here and there to fix the shape. And I think you got the idea. It's not a big deal actually, and we can add another one maybe here, or just press 3 to go to face selection mode and hold Alt and select this loop cut, and we can press S and Shift C to scale them on the X and Y axis a little bit, just a bit, to fix the shape of model. So let's do the process for the other parts. Bring this down a little bit, and maybe here the next one. You see that the face is going to make sense now, and you can control what shape you want with adding the exact loop cuts, because when we add a loop cut near these edges, it would sharpen them, and you have to look at your imagination that what kind of model you want to. If you want to make this place sharp, you have to add loop cuts, or if you want to make it smooth, you have to get rid of the loop cuts. It's completely up to you. There is no, as I said, obligation here. Just it's the work of imagination and creativity of you. So press R, Control R, and bring a loop cut here, and I think we have to add another one, and just Control B and bevel, the same thing that we did for the previous ones, and we can add another loop cut in the middle and scale this down, up actually, but it's not good. Let's get rid of that. I regret it. So Control R and bring it here, and another one. Maybe it would be great to sharpen this part a little bit. I think, yeah, it is going to make sense. And let's another loop cut here, and maybe, oops, it's not the same, it's not the right part. Let's add another one here, but I think it's not good to add a loop cut in that part. Let's add a loop cut in that point, and we're going to reach to the end of the refining, and another one, and another one here. The other one should be here. Maybe we can add on the top, and also we have to add this one here, and this one not there. Let's delete that, and this one here to maintain this shape, and the last ones here we can add the one at the center, and with Control B we can just bevel it to there. But I'm not satisfied with the shape here. We can select one of them and press GG to Y to edge slide and move the faces on the edges itself, and select this one and GG to Y and bring this a little bit higher to make it a little bit smoother than before, and that's good. So let's select this one and Control 2. Control 2 is a hotkey for subdivision modifier. You can press Control 1 to add with 1 segment, you can press Control 2 with 2 segments, and so on. I'm gonna right click, shade smooth, and this time do the same process here for this one as well. Let's add a loop cut here, another one here, and I think we have to sharpen up and down of this part. Maybe another one here. That's going to be okay. And this absolutely should be sharp, this part, and maybe this part as well. I don't want them too sharp. and we have to add another one here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's cancel it. Right, hold Alt and select this loop cut. We have a loop cut here, and Control B to bevel that, and that's okay. So let's add another one here, and I think it is enough. I don't want this, so select vertex selection tool and select this vertex and push it a little bit upwards, and Control plus to expand selection and bring it lower just a little bit to up to there, and that's okay. I'm satisfied with the shape. But select this one and hold Control 2, and you see that the shape is really perfect and shady smooth. It doesn't need anything except that we have to press 3. We have to bring these vertices a little bit inside to about there, I think. And also we can just add a support loop cut here, and also here, and there we go. So select this one and come to face selection mode and select this face. Also select these ones. Oops, not that, these ones. Okay, and when you're selecting them, hold Alt and E, then extrude the faces along their normals and extrude them one more time up to there. But actually we have to add another loop cut, supportive loop cut here, and another one here to make it a little bit sharp. Now the last step is to duplicate this around this shape. I need 4 of them. Let's press 7 to go to top orthographic view to see it properly. One here, another here, the other one here. So we have 360 degrees. All of them are 90 degrees. Because of that, we have to rotate them 90 degrees each time. So let's clean them and change the pivot point to the 3D cursor. 3D cursor is in the center of the world, and make sure we didn't move these objects, any of them, on the X or Y axis. Because of that, they are exactly at the center in that axis. So Shift D to duplicate that, but don't move it, and press R, then Z, and type 90, and it would do the same, and it would do the process for you. And don't do anything, and hold Shift R, and Shift R is a hotkey for duplicating the previous process that you did, and Shift R again, and it will duplicate that for you freely without any difficulties. Okay, that's down, and we are down here. So let's add a plane, and this time I'm gonna add some lights and materials, and that would be end of the tutorial. So come to the render preview. You see that we don't have any lights here, so I'm gonna select this one, the light itself, and come to material properties and click on new, and I'm gonna change its name to light, and select this green circle here and change its type to emission. Let's find emission. I'm always in trouble with finding the emission, and increase the strength, and you see it doesn't have any glows because we are an EV, so we have to check the ambient occlusion, bloom, and screen space reflections to enable the reflections as well. So let's come back to material preview and change the color a little bit to a warmer color, just like that, and that's going to be okay. So select this floor, and I'm gonna change this, and I'm gonna add a new material, so I'm gonna call it floor, and the color will be a little bit, maybe this color, light blue or pale blue, just like that, and you can increase or decrease the roughness a little bit. It's okay for now, and select this one and click on new. I'm gonna call it middle, then let's change the metallic all the way to 1 and the roughness, decrease the roughness just a little bit, not so much. We have to control the amount of roughness we use, and you can add further detail. Let's come to the shading part and let's add a noise texture. Press Shift A to open up this panel here and search for a noise texture. And with the Node Wrangler add-on that I've explained it in previous videos, you can hold Control T to add these two nodes here, the mapping node and texture coordinate, and select them, then search for a color ramp. So plug the factor to factor and color to the roughness. I'm gonna add this a little bit rusty effects here and there and change the generator to object and plug it to the vector. So let's wait for, and you see that this is going to work here and there. I'm gonna change the density of that a little bit, make it, let's work on that. You have to find the correct and proper options for that. I think that's okay, and we have to decrease the colors a little bit. They are so extreme colors and it would ruin our work. I think that's good now, and let's select these ones and 4 of them, this one, and select this one at the end. So press Ctrl L and link materials. In that case they would link this material that we gave for that. And for the color, I'm gonna change its color a little bit to a, oh, I'm changing the surface color and it doesn't change, so to make sure to change the base color. I'm gonna change it to a somehow bluish color, just a little bit, not so much, and that's okay. So let's add 2 lights. The first one, I'm gonna add the point light. Press 7 and bring it here and bring it higher and increase the power all the way up about there, and I'm gonna increase the radius to soften the shadows here and there. I don't want the sharp shadows for that, so I'm gonna increase the power and come to world properties and change the color and make it a little bit darker. And you can come to render properties all the way down up to color management. On the look part, you can change none to high contrast to make your scene a little bit more contrast. You see the difference is amazing. So select this and come to light properties, and I'm gonna change the light a little bit, just like that. I think that's okay, and increase the light a little bit more and press 1 to see it properly from the front view. And let's duplicate that, bring it on the opposite side, and this light would be a little somehow support light for us. And let's change the color to a warmer color, just like that, and the power should be a little bit lower than the main color, main light actually, not color, and that's okay. So let's add another light. I'm gonna add an area light and bring it about that point and increase the power, and the color should be somehow the same as our ground. And select the ground and come to material preview, and I'm gonna decrease the roughness a little bit, and also maybe the metallic, to see what is it going to be. I think that is good. So that's it. The modeling and the tutorial is done here. I hope you have enjoyed it, and you can control the light, you can control the materials, you can control the shape and anything you like and create your own models. So the tutorial is done here. I hope you've learned something, and I can't wait to record any other videos for you. So if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet and haven't seen the previous videos, just please click on the button below to subscribe in the channel and support us. So as the guy says in Free Guy, don't have a good day, have a great day. See you on the next videos.